Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. After federal government moves against Kanus release, see what the court finally decided. After federal government moves against Kanus release, see what the court finally decided. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. The application for a stay of execution of a court judgment that ordered the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanus, was heard by the Court of Appeal in Abuja on Monday, and the court decided to reserve its judgment on the matter. The application was submitted by the federal government. Nnamdi Kanus is the man in charge of the indigenous people of Biafra. According to the declaration that was made by the judge presiding over the case, Arunat Sanami, the date on which the parties will be formed of the judgment will be communicated to the judicial system as soon as it is available. This will take place as soon as a date has been determined for the delivery of the verdict. During the oral argument for the case, the federal government informed the Court of Appeal that Kanus poses a threat to the nation's security and that he must remain in jail in order to ensure that peace can continue to exist in the country. This information was provided in order to ensure that the case would be heard. This was done in order to guarantee that Kanus will have no effect whatsoever on the outcome of the case. This material was supplied in order to ensure that the case would be addressed in its whole when it was being analyzed. This was accomplished by listening to all of the arguments that were made. In a motion for a stay of execution of the judgment delivered in favor of Kanus on October 13, the counsel for the federal government, David Casway, while arguing the motion, informed the appellate court that Kanus had previously demonstrated that he was a flight risk when he fled the country after being granted bail on the terrorism charges against him at the Federal High Court, Abuja. This was done in a motion for a stay of execution of the judgment delivered in favor of Kanus on October 13. My Lord, our concern, as well as the concern of the federal government, is the threat that the release of Kanus poses to the security of this country, as well as the political, social, and economic activities that take place within it. We share this worry with the federal government. If he is allowed to leave the nation after being released from detention, then we will not be able to have any kind of physical interaction with him.
As a consequence of this, he requested that the judge impose a stay on the execution of the court judgment so that Kanu might continue to be held in custody until the United States Supreme Court issued its final decision regarding the appeal that had been earlier filed.
However, the principal attorney for Kanu, Chief Mike Ozekomen-san, stated that the military attacked Kanu's ancestral home in an illegal manner and that it required the grace of God for his client to avoid execution. He informed the court that the administration was in contempt of court for failing to obey the verdict that was handed down on October 13, and he was given a ruling of contempt. Ozekome said, contrary to the assertions made by the federal government, that the only thing that could guarantee peace and calm over the entirety of the nation would be the release of his client, and that this would be the only thing that could do this. This would be true not only for the region known as the Southeast but also for the rest of the country. The attorney representing Nnamdi Kanu made the following statement to the judge. My lord, the action of the federal government in regard of Nnamdi Kanu is an insult, a slap in the face to this court. To my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by